Hello, you fucking lovely specimen, REM sleep element.
Why?
Ooh, hello, what are you doing? So, let's get directly within this what if. This is, as the title said, it's the what if deku was reborn. Now, for all of y'all who actually watched the video, thank y'all. And this series shall be continued on to my second channel, the Dirty Nigga 2. So yeah, Dirty Nigga 2. It will be continued onto the Dirty Nigga 2. Village. Naruto had now, Deku had now slain his opponent with one single slice. Afterwards, Izuku stayed there for a total of 8 days until a man who called himself Ryu appeared as he slinked towards the village, which was known as this as a village which was known as a warrior village because of the fact most of the capital's royal knights were retrieved from the village. So it was natural for the tester to test who can join the royal knights. As the tester, who is Ryu, looked forward, he saw it. The town was completely destroyed. Nothing left but a shell of its former self. And right on top was some kid sitting down, looking at him. Who is that kid? A man said from behind Ryu. I don't know, but he's strong, Ryu said. Who did this, and what happened? What happened? Oh, I destroyed this village, Izuku said with a smile on his face. As then, Ryu looked at him and said, huh, a little kid like you, even though I can sense the fact that you're strong, you couldn't wipe out an entire village alone. I've gone by many names for the past millennia. What does that situation have to do with our situation? The man said, once looking towards Naruto, interrupting his story. As then Naruto sent a small blade skidding, flying through the air as it hit through his head as it shot and spilled his brain all over the ground. That's why you looked back. He didn't even see it happen. Well, let me continue. Over this millennia, I've been known as, well, Akuma no Kame, War no Kame, and the Destroyer God. Some has even went so far as to call me the God of Calamity. Naruto said, well, Deku said, while looking up at the sky, as then Ryu's eyes opened wide. What's the definition of millennia? A time period within 100,000 years or less. But it stops usually around 6,000 years. No, usually around, it starts, the time period of millennia starts around 70,000 years and ends at 100,000 years. So, it wasn't a millennia. It felt like it, Izuku said, as then he looked at the man. It was most likely 6,000 years, 60,000 years ago. Deku said, once looking towards the man. So you're him. Some refer to me as him, some don't. I'm just a man who's simply been heartbroken and has allowed his rage to take over. That's all I am. Some might call me a war god, but that's only because they are the ones who go against me. My multiple wives have considered me to be one of the nicest people alive. As a matter of fact, I am known for my niceness or my name within a kingdom long, long ago. But, of course, when the other nations heard of the fact, when the other kingdoms heard of the fact that I had joined, that I was living within that nation, they destroyed it, still eager for revenge. As then, Deku disappeared, putting his blade onto Ryu's throat as Ryu shook. He was level 300, only 100 behind the strongest man alive, or what he thought to be the strongest man alive, because this guy didn't seem to be man. He seemed to be a god. He couldn't even consider him human. His power was too fast and too vast. Him himself had put up a good fight against level 400. As a matter of fact, his brother was that man. But this guy alone, he didn't seem like human. He seemed like a god. This guy was able to get into his defenses when his brother. He could at least see his brother. But this guy, he couldn't see him. As sweat fell from his forehead, he was beginning to see the danger of his opponent. Of course, I could kill you and just go off and destroy another village and keep on destroying until it's all gone. Or I could leave you alive and you would never tell anyone about this event ever. Deku said, once looking towards Ryu. Or there's another option. I'll join your nation for a hand in marriage with her. As then Ryu grit his teeth as he slightly looked behind him. That was his girlfriend. He couldn't allow this guy, no matter how strong he was, to take his woman. Then Ryu disappeared at his fastest speeds as he then pulled his blade out as he sliced as fast and as hard and as with basically every ounce of his being. He should be dead. Even a god can handle that, Ryu said, and then his eyes opened widely as he looked towards the figure. His blade. Once he then looked at his blade, as the blade was on the edge of breaking, as he then swiftly moved it a little bit, and it turned into dust. What are you? Some say I'm an Akuma. Some say I'm a god. Some say I'm a man with too much power. But what I think is, I'm none of those. I'm just a broken little boy who found out that he was weaker than everyone else. So to drown out his pain, he trained. As then, Ryu jumped back further as basically Deku was basically staring at him with this almost ominous face in this ominous aura. His face was blank, but with this just ominous aura, and it was just fucking creepy. Some say I'm a demon brat. Some say I'm a demon brat who doesn't deserve life. But no, what I believe myself to be is in a dream. A dream. Just a bad nightmare. Well, not really, but it's going to be torture once I return back to my world. That is, Izuku said to the man who was now looking at him. You see, in my world, I am as weak as an infant, but in this, I am as strong as a god. But I only know it can only be a nightmare or a dream. Because I couldn't get a power in a lifetime, Deku said, looking towards Ryu. As a matter of fact, you're lucky to have such a grand name, Ryu, the Japanese word for dragon. But I'm stuck with something like Deku, the Japanese word for useless. I guess I really am useless. Some people even call me Nemo. Nothing. A nobody with nothing under his belt. As then Ryu stepped back. But I'll make them all pay, he said in a deep and dark voice which had changed from its original. Starting with you, all of you, I offered you your survival. But you didn't want survival. You wanted death. So I'll give it to you, Ryu said, looking towards. No, Deku said, looking towards Ryu. As Ryu then shot backwards, trying to dodge the massive amounts of key balls that were just unleashed from Deku. As Deku had earned that technique, which he had used to basically shoot his opponents with killer intent. If the killer intent is stronger than their will, then the opponent automatically dies. And Deku's killer intent was basically his power. So anyone who comes in contact with a killer intent is gonna be dead. So yeah, his killer intent dead ass would be incredible. Now, now, basically, Deku then noticed something. He noticed a look in his eyes that he had had a long, long time ago. When Bakugo started to bully him because all of them had gotten their quirks a week earlier than the norm, but Deku still hadn't had his. He saw a look of hopelessness and sadness and anger and just fear. As then the key balls began to fly back towards him. As basically Ryu stopped. I have decided not to kill you. You may leave, Ryu said. As then he hopped back on top of the house. As he stared up into the sky, he laid back, falling asleep. 14 days later. Deku had woken up to the sight of gigantic. No, I won't say gigantic, because even though, some of y'all would like gigantic boobs, honestly, it's just Like, it gotta be closer towards the mid range, so it's not just disgustingly big to the point where it's bigger than the body and all that disgusting shit. It just don't look right. It don't look right to me. I can't be turned on by that. I'm just saying. As medium-sized bazungas or in front of his face as he blushed heavily. The woman who was treating his wounds then looked at him. Clear, the woman said, as she then charged a lightning spell to her hands, as she then shocked Deku. As she put him in a paralysis-like state. What happened? Deku asked this woman as he had pulled down all of his barriers because of the massive bazungas in his face. Cause no cap, if he could get some, then he's not gonna miss that chance. He gonna hit it all everywhere. He just gonna go split it. My name is Mrs. Ryuga. Oh no, Hinata. My name is Mrs. Hinata. Or Hinata for short. So, Mrs. Hinata, what's going on? We found you in a burnt town. While it doesn't look like your body is hurt, we noticed that your neck is suppressed. It was suppressing your breathing. So we've checked out your neck, but no matter what we're doing or what we have done, it just won't stop suppressing your breathing. Almost as if you're being choked by something in another plane of reality. But that's kind of silly, the woman said, as Deku then closed his eyes and went into deep meditation, as he was now in a casket, as a bed lied under. Like, no, y'all know how to, in the caskets, they have like this little cushioning foam. Like, it be different. As then he bust down the bottom of the casket. As then he began to crawl out of the ground, basically. No, they don't put niggas in caskets. As he then got out of the casket, he then pushed open this white stone like this white marble fucking thing that he was on, like that he was like basically in. As he pushed open the lid, he got out. As he looked around, he was in a cemetery. What's going on? Izuku thought, as he then saw a figure, as it was completely nighttime. As he then recovered the casket area by himself, then he hid behind a tombstone As then he closed his eyes and reopened them. The basically other world. It seems that the thing that was suppressing your neck is gone. You're welcome, the lady said, as then she hopped out. She got up, then walked out of this tent like area. He then got up as his throat felt a bit sore. Then he fell towards his knees, shooketh at the sight. As he looked up, another doctor walked in. As he saw it, she didn't have any panties on. As Deku was like, damn, Swatty, ooh, shit. I see what you working with, your shawty down. And you got it with him? Oh, shit. And shoot, then basically, he tossed her on the bed and used the hyperbolic time chamber jutsu. Made one night for like an entire year, you heard me? Then daylight came. And basically, as sun rays shined into the room, Deku smiled as he was right next to this lady in the hospital. Like, she wasn't no older than him. Like she was like around, from what he could tell, around the age of 14. Now 14 is the age of consent in Japan, so he's sliding. Plus, all he have to do is just use a little bit of transformation magic, and he look like a 14-year-old, man. Well, you got a dick like you 40. No. You got the 12-meter defeater or something. Yeah. 20-meter defeater. So, then, Mrs. Hinata walks in as she shooketh to her core. Hey, if y'all know this from the Vibe Kage year, boy, his shit is good. Like, honestly, he is really good. Anyway, I really like his content, like, basically. And he was like shooketh. Her daughter was naked next to this little boy. This boy, as she looked at him, she saw resemblance between the little boy that she saw earlier and this guy. Like, she was just going off to get some medical supplies, but they just dropped the whew. She yelled out, "Himawari!" As Himawari jumped out of the bed, Deku woke up. Whoa. Ooh, you got some good hair, you heard me? Deku said, looking towards Himawari. As then, he looked towards Mrs. Hinata. Now, this isn't Hinata from Naruto, but since I don't have any other names, your boy just gonna be profiting. Your boy just saw some weird shit. As Hinata looked at Deku. What were you guys doing? Like Deku. He said, you know what we was doing? We was in the hyperbolic time, baby, you heard me? I sent them cheeks to cheek heaven. I sent those cheeks to cheek heaven, you heard me? As then Mrs. Hinata looked at Himawari. You slept with one of our patients? And you don't even know him? What would Ashton think about this? As then Himawari's eyes opened widely. She forgot about Ashton because Deku, he was laying it down, you heard me? He was asserting his dominance in the house. Shit. Okay. As he was putting it down, he was asserting his dominance. Like, shit. So she was shook us to the core. He looked over at her and he was like, who is Jonathan? And then she was like, Jonathan. The name doesn't ring a bell. And then Hinata screamed out, the man who you and I decided to arrange your marriage with. So Deku, his eyes were shook. He was like, Nani? I can't lay the pipe down anymore. And those cheeks, they were so good. In all my years, my almost 60,000 years of life, no one's had cheeks them good, Deku said in his mind. Then he looked over towards Hinata and said, shit, you can forget about Ashton, cause I'ma do your girl right. You heard me? And then he opened up a sack. No, not a sack. What? You need to chill the fuck out. Like, my mind just went to the gutter. Just mention a sack, cause I have one. Like, yeah. As he then, like, basically touched his chest, as he then ripped his hand into his chest, as he ripped out a sack, as it then healed up instantly. And then he looked towards her, as he then opened up the bag. Hey, this what they call it, infinite bag. Like, you can store infinite shit in here. It's like Santa Claus bag. You heard me? I'm about to show you something. As he then opened up his lit sack. And, a sack. No, this is a big ass bag. Like a pouch. Yeah, a pouch. He then opened up his pouch as gold came raining down. As he put it on the hospital, like on the lit bed, as it started to fall off the bed, and Hinata was like, damn, hey, I think that you could call Ashton as a quit, man. He could take care of you. Like, he could really take care of you. And, so, like, basically Naruto smiled, Deku smiling, he like, shit, when I get to meet the fathers, shit, cause I'm trying to get you with the father so I can get good with the smile. And then, like, they take him over to their house, and then, man, he was basically sitting on the porch, he was sitting on the porch smoking a wood with a tank, like basically smoking a block of wood that was burnt on the tip with basically a hole running through it. As he puffed in the smoke and he breathed it out. So who's this little fucker? The man said, was looking towards Naruto. Shit, what's up, Dad? I'm trying to let you know that I'm about to slide with your daughter. Like, I already slid in them cheeks. Like, whew, we ran for a long time. I mean, I was a choo-choo train. I ran through it. As then, the father's eyes opened wide. You ran through my daughter, the man said. As then, he disappeared as he slammed his fist into into Deku. As Deku stood there. I killed him instantly, the man said, as then Himawari began to cry. She knew that Deku was strong, but not strong enough to take her father's legendary fist. As Deku then smirked. That was fun, so I'll show you mine. Since judging from that fist, you're around level 52. I'll give you a level 53 fist. As then he disappeared, punching the man in the stomach. As the man was shooketh, he flew back across the field that they were fighting. That they were fighting in. Since basically, like, this guy tried to sit down on the porch when you just punched her, boy. No, boy. I'm about to slide you in your generation. Come on, little man. Like, so he slid him. He slid him with practical ease, and everyone is shooketh to their core. As Deku then smiled. You haven't even seen a fraction of my power, he said with a smirk on his face, which showed his confidence. Alright. Let's see your full power, kid, the man said, still pissed off that he couldn't stop the guy from marrying his daughter. Plus, he had beat him with the one punch. Okay. World-shattering fist, Deku said, as then he punched up towards the air. As the moon, which was now magically out since for fucking plot convenience. As it hit the moon cracked apart as it burst open. As the man was shook to his core. Then some invisible force began to push it back together. That wasn't my full power, because my full power could possibly destroy this universe. So I never went to full power ever in my entire life. Well, I did once, but that was when my full power was measly 20. I said 4,000 or either 40,000. Yeah, it was 40,000. I think I said. When my power was a measly 40,000 or 20,000. No, it was definitely 40,000. 40. When my power was a measly 40,000, as Himawari was shook. Then Himawari tugged on his sleeve as basically he looked down towards her as she was blushing heavily. Basically, then Naruto bitch slapped the man of the house, became the man of the house, and he was now renovating the house using gold. All of the gold that he's collected in his entire life, which was pretty much enough to build a nation from scratch and have it up and running like 13 times more efficient than the rest of the nations. So it was a lot of money. It was doinky. And just renovating the house towards more like modern mansions. Well, not mansions, but modern mansions in size was pretty much easy. So yeah, basically, around 3 weeks later, a man arrived. So, 'tis who does your kingdom? 'Tis who is your kingdom aligned to? Kingdom? What do you mean? Naruto said as he looked towards the man. It seems that this is your castle, correct? Oh, that is funny. I literally have no castle. I literally have none castle. None. Not even one. And even if I did have a castle, it would be small. It would be massively bigger. And plus, this is only my wife's house. Deku said, looking towards the man. Oh, but I do need you. Which kingdom are you for? I am the Remedies Kingdom. Remedies Kingdom's messenger. Good. Good. The Remedies has made me pissed off for the last 1,000 years. And then Naruto grabbed on to his head as Himawari he dragged him towards the bedroom. As Himawari was in there, and she was now startled by his arrival as she looked at him. I'm still preparing myself, she said, as she was washing her area. Well, I need to show you this. As then he threw a man on the ground. What do we need him for? For your immortality. What? She said. Simple. For immortality. It requires the soul of one person who the death god considers to be valuable. Since messengers have to grow across countries and move and push weight, I'm sure that they meet death a lot, which means that they are death escapers, so the death god will offer more for them. So, that more can be translated to immortality, Deku said with a smile on his face. since I don't want you to die ever, I've decided that since I can live for almost forever, and you could possibly be immortal, I'll gain my immortality some other way, Deku said, once looking towards his girlfriend. As then, the man screamed. He screams like, no. He made that little noise, so where you like, no. Like, no, shit. How you do it? Like, that. Like, basically, that noise. As his soul was ripped out of his body, the Reaper stood in front of him as his dirty bone finger pointed towards the man. As then his soul was encased in the Death God's energy. As Naruto basically, Deku basically then pointed towards her. As did the Death God smile. As then he used his ability, Touch of Immortality, which gave Himawari immortality, as he took his body as well. Now, shall we begin? Naruto said with a smile on his face, as then he began to destroy them cheeks like the god he is. And that's going to be the end of this little nasty what if. Also, make sure that y'all all fucking... Oh, this is gonna take a long time to fucking, upload. Shit, I might even break this into parts. And then reassemble. No. I might. No. I'm not. I might. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Just know that this is fucking pre-recorded, so I don't know what it's fucking. Yeah, it's fucking the 9th, by the way. It's February 9th. So yeah, I'm so fucking bored. So yeah, this is part 2 of What If Deku Was Reborn. Yeah. I will be posting my 1 hour special tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow fuck that. February the 13th. Feb the 13th. Yeah, Feb the 13th. I will be posting it. Bye. It's fucking... I hope I didn't... Ooh, it's February 11th. Who the fuck is Sukino? Bye. Hey, it's a holiday. I got hoes on hoes. How's that, nigga?